Hi there. My name is Molly, and I'm a professor at the College of Idaho. I'm going to talk to you today about something that is really important, and that is mental health. You might be wondering, what does mental health mean? Or maybe you've heard of that before, but I bet you've definitely heard of physical health before. The things that we do to keep our bodies healthy, like eating vegetables or drinking water and exercising. These activities keep our body healthy, they keep our hearts pumping blood, they keep our lungs working so that we can breathe, and they keep blood moving throughout our bodies. A healthy body keeps us alive and it allows us to do the things that we want to do. Mental health is similar, except instead of talking about our bodies, we're talking about our minds. A healthy mind allows us to think clearly, feel happy, love, joy, solve problems, make decisions, develop healthy relationships, and most importantly, deal with difficult problems. Just like we need to do activities to take care of our bodies, we also need to do activities to take care of our minds, especially right now, because for some of us, the past few months have been really different than we're used to. Some of our lives have changed quite a bit, and big changes can be hard on our minds. So, I'm going to share 5 tips for keeping your mind healthy. These 5 tips are called the high five breathing technique, the 5 item scan, 5 days of play, name 5, and take 5. They all have to do with the number 5, so they're easy to remember. So I'm going to explain each tip and walk through them. You can use these tips on your own at any time. So our first tip, number 1, is called high five breathing. Sometimes when we're feeling difficult feelings, like when we're feeling really sad or angry, worried or scared, we can have a hard time of calming down and making decisions and making good choices. Sometimes we can even feel our heart beating faster or butterflies in our stomach. Maybe we feel hot, or we can even have a bellyache when we're feeling really sad or worried. When we feel like this, it can be helpful to take a break and practice some breathing. Think about something else for a few seconds. So, one way we can do that is by using the high five breathing technique. Through this activity, we're practicing breathing and we're also really focusing on our breathing instead of those difficult feelings or thoughts. So the way this works is we put out our hand as if we're giving a high five. And we use the finger from our other hand to trace our high five. And as we're tracing, we're going to breathe in through our nose as we're going up our fingers and out through our mouth as we're going down. And we're going to trace our whole hand. You can practice along with me right now. Start at the bottom, go in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You can trace your hand several times if you need to until you feel yourself calming down. This is a great activity to do really anywhere and anytime, but especially if you're feeling a little bit nervous, angry, or worried. So, our second tip, number 2, is called the 5 item scan. Sometimes when we're feeling extra upset, nervous, or worried, it can be even harder to calm down. So if you try the high five breathing technique and you still don't feel calm, you can try the 5 item scan. This activity forces you to focus on your surroundings or the room or space that you're in. And that can shift your thinking. So the 5 item scan is when we point out 5 items in the room that you're in that fit in a category. So, for example, you can point out 5 items that are blue, or 5 items that are fuzzy or soft, or 5 items that you can touch, or 5 items that you can see. You can pick any category. You could even go through the alphabet, 5 items that start with A, and then 5 items that start with B. Up to you, but you point out 5 items, and saying these items out loud can help you calm down and refocus your thoughts. So, our third tip, number 3, 5 days of play. So, we know exercise is really good for our bodies, but it's also really good for our minds. And it can help us think more clearly, can improve our moods, make us feel happier. And during the regular school day, most of us have recess and PE, and we're moving around a lot throughout the day. But if we're learning from home, we might not be getting as much activity as we're used to. If you're like me, I'm sitting at a desk in front of a computer a lot more than I've ever been used to. So we need to make sure that we're playing and exercising at least 5 days a week. So pick your favorite activity and go for it. If you can go outside, even better. But if you can't, think about the activities that you can do inside to get some exercise and allow you to play, like maybe jumping jacks or yoga, or even creating an obstacle course in your bedroom. As long as it's safe, get your body moving 5 days a week. Sometimes when I'm sitting at my desk all day and I notice I'm not having a lot of activity, I will take a break and I'll do 5 jumping jacks, 5 sit ups, 5 push ups, 5 squats, and 5 seconds of stretching to make sure that I'm getting my exercise and activity. So, our fourth tip, number 4, name 5. Sometimes it's easy to get in the habit of thinking about all the things that we don't like or that aren't going very well. And when we get stuck in thinking about all the bad things, it can make us feel really down, really sad. And we often forget about all the good things. So the name 5 activity helps us to shift our thoughts, change our thinking, to think about the things we're happy about, the things that are going well, or the things that we're grateful for. So take 5 minutes every day and name 5 things that you are happy for or grateful for. And it can be anything. It could be your dog, it could be a Pop-Tart, it could be a blanket. Today, I'm grateful for my dog, the sunshine, family and friends, my house, and the hike I got to go on this morning. When we think about the things that we're grateful for, we can shift our mind to be more positive and improve our mood. The last tip, number 5. This is probably the most important tip. Number 5 is to take 5. Take 5 minutes every day to check in with yourself and with other people about how you're feeling. Sometimes we don't like to talk about our feelings, especially if they're hard or uncomfortable, like we're feeling sad or we're feeling scared. But we all have those feelings. And if we don't talk about them, they usually can last a lot longer and they can get even worse or feel more difficult and uncomfortable. Sometimes when we don't talk about our feelings, we even start to feel it in our bodies, like we might get a stomach ache or a headache. So take 5 minutes every day to think about how you're feeling and then share those feelings with someone else. You can share those feelings with your parents or a guardian, a relative, brother or sister or sibling, even your teachers. Sometimes it can be really hard to name our feelings or to know what we're feeling. And so think about how you could draw a picture about your feelings and share your picture. Or you can share what happened during your day that maybe led up to your feelings. Talking about our feelings helps us to work through them and can often make us feel much better. So, a quick reminder of our 5 tips to keep your mind healthy. Number 1, high 5 breathing, tracing our hand, taking slow breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. The 5-item scan, pointing out 5 items in your room that fit in a category. Play, making sure you're playing or getting activity 5 days a week. Name 5. Name 5 things that you're happy about or grateful for every day. And last but not least, take 5. Take 5 minutes to think about your feelings and to talk to somebody else about your feelings. If you practice these tips every week, I bet you're going to start to feel a little bit happier and maybe a little bit more steady. Thanks for listening. Take care.